Good evening all. This video would have been very long and convoluted if done in one part, so I'm splitting my final two War Thunder videos. There may be a third if there's an update worthy of another video. This video regards my recent ban and recounting of a few others' experiences, who are also banned, and the next part is a rant at Gaijin Entertainment, the developers of War Thunder, which will be released when I can be bothered. Quick disclaimer, please come open-minded to this video because although I'm saying all this, there may be a clear reason I'm just either forgetting or not mentioning that probably proves my ban. Unlikely, but open-mindedness is valued in the viewing of this video. So let's not beat around the bush. There's something going on with War Thunder because on the 14th of March 2022, I was banned. I'll explain my history as a player within War Thunder and mention all the possible ways I could have been banned, followed by what I did a few weeks prior to then, what I did after my ban, and then the conclusion of whether I will be unbanned or not, and long story short, no. If you are watching this video because you have been banned too, you won't be unbanned. Gaijin will not risk their reputation doing so, and you'll get that impression from this video and my rant. There have been numerous people banned before me who are still banned to this day, and in general, if you don't want to watch the rest of this video and are looking for a hopeful answer, I'm coming to you right now to put you out of your misery and say that ban is going to stay indefinitely, as much as I wish I was spreading lies. I started playing War Thunder exactly on the 26th of June 2016. I registered myself via Steam, and that has always been the case. No migration attempts or anything like that, if it's even possible. In my time playing, I've spent about £5 on 1000 Golden Eagles, which I purchased just under 5 years ago. I have never bought anything else, whether it's Eagles or off the Gaijin marketplace. I have never downloaded or used cheats of any kind, or third software for that fact. I usually launch Microsoft Edge with YouTube or Google Up and Discord. I don't have any antivirus software on my PC. I have recorded footage of War Thunder using OBS, but very infrequently because my PC is old and it tends to lag the game and the footage always comes out as a 50 FPS laggy mess. So I always tended to record replays, as seen in my War Thunder gameplay videos. The only time I have even remotely attempted to mess with files was to get old War Thunder sounds, and all I did was open the game files, then close them because for my lazy self, it was too much effort and I believed there was some risk of me getting banned doing this. I tried this about 2 years ago. I mainly play air and ground realistic and have always been a free-to-play player since I bought those Eagles. I bought those Eagles because I got a 75% discount on the Independent, which, except for the Tux Gladiator, F2G and Beaufighter Mark I, are my only premiums on the account. I barely go on custom battles, and if I do, it's to play with a friend to do a duel or mess around with tanks and lineups or aircraft and their missiles, just standard silly stuff. On March 14th, I launch War Thunder to procrastinate when I find this. I've been banned for EULA 3.2.3. How bizarre. I don't cheat or bot. As a matter of fact, if you've watched my B18 video, I'm stringently against botting as I made a video on it. Probably the only person who's made it on B18s, with the only other person discussing botting in War Thunder being T-Rex in simulator battles, of which I don't play. So I make a post on Steam. It gets deleted 24 hours later with no activity, probably because they do not want that type of stuff in their technical problems or advice section on their Steam community. I also post on Reddit, and I managed to attract a bit of attention on there. My first post being what I posted on Steam and sent as my first ticket to Gaijin and Easy Anti-Cheat, or EAS, the anti-cheat that Gaijin uses for War Thunder, goes as follows. Hello, this is just me forwarding the post above. I made a Reddit account just because of the situation. Please help me in any way you can. To whoever reads this, hopefully the War Thunder team, I launched my game via Steam today to find that I've been banned under EULA 3.2.3, which states, no malicious or deceiving use of software which automates the game process, bots, mods, changes gameplay functionality of the game, grants an advantage over other players not using such software, or otherwise gaming experience, whether yours or any other players. This confuses me greatly. Firstly, I've never used any external software to modify War Thunder at any point in time, but the bot section fascinates me. In 2021, I took notice of a bot exploit where Swedish B18s were being botted for what I assumed was to exploit Golden Eagles through the Invite a Friend feature. So I did what a good player would do, reported as many of them as I could, and made a YouTube video on it on my YouTube channel to bring awareness to the issue, with the video only getting about 20 views because I have 7 subscribers. It has now about 50. The matter of fact is that this is a false ban, and although I do not have proof to prove I'm innocent, there's no proof that I'm guilty either, so here's my testimony, I guess. I've never used third-party software on War Thunder, mostly because I just want to enjoy the game, rather than mod it in any way, and I would never cheat anyway to research vehicles. I'd say I'm an above-average player and do sometimes dunk on the enemy team, but Gaijin didn't ban me for hacking. Finally, I want someone at Gaijin to explain to me where I botted, which game, what date, and what time. What vehicles was I using? What I did, rather than where in the EULA I messed up, because quite frankly, I'm upset at the fact that this is not explained to me when I logged in today. A day later, I get a response from Vlad, the duty support specialist, who I can't find anywhere outside this email, so I'm going to go off the assumption that they are either a volunteer or a bot. This is what he or it said to me. Greetings, not followed by my username or domain name. It seems that Gaijin is setting a new professional precedent. Thank you for contacting Gaijin customer support. We have completed a mass check of server logs to find the accounts that were started with a modified game client. In your case, the usage of a modified game client or changing the game client files was clearly proved. And they don't go on to state how that was proved. Sure, why not? Please, note that it is prohibited to share your account with other people. You are responsible for all the actions performed on your account in such cases. Any dispute on this case is pointless. Our decision will not be revised. Have a nice day. Best regards, Duty Support Specialist, Gaijin Support Team. How passive aggressive. When I read this, I was angry. I left a post updating Reddit about it, and at least from my experience, I was essentially getting ratioed, people were not fond of me, and my posts, as there was a post that essentially insinuated that my post was full of it. I replied to that post saying, fair enough. On the same day I received the email, I responded with the following. Greetings Vlad. I appreciate your timely feedback, but remain confused at your revision. This is plainly because I log into War Thunder via Steam and share my Steam account with absolutely no one. In doing so would put my expensive Rocket League and Counter-Strike Global Offensive skins under serious risk of being stolen. It is simply impossible for someone else to have used my account unless there had been an unauthorized breach of my Steam account, of which I have no awareness of. You have still failed to clarify what time my account was shared/botted, a term that is incredibly vague to begin with, and what nation/vehicles I used that made your team come to the conclusion of me breaching EULA 3.2.3. I'm frankly very disappointed in your team for failing to be clearer on this, and also the passive-aggressive tone of your response. I do wish you and Gaijin my sincerest best with the continuation of what is a very unfriendly company towards those inquiring about bans that lack clear and concise justification for said bans. But nonetheless, thank you for your time. The next day, I received this. No greetings or hello in the response. I like this guy, gets straight into the point. We cannot provide you with a report regarding your ban to prevent any disclosure of information about game client modifications detection methods. That is a bit of a mouthful. However, in your case, the usage of a modified game client or changing of the game client files was clearly proved. The decision regarding your case is final and won't be reconsidered. Have a nice day, best regards, blah blah blah. Now, I'm going to discuss what I had been doing months beforehand on War Thunder, because if you've ever watched War Thunder replays, you will know that they are defunct after any sort of update, of which War Thunder did not do for roughly about a month. Since that time, I had been playing 3.7 to 4.3 ground realistic Germany, occasionally playing air realistic or ground realistic of different nations that wasn't Germany, but Germany was what I played 90% of the time. Since the pandemic, I've played War Thunder a lot more than I ever have. I, arguably, am a good player and a SPA player. I enjoy playing the role and have a habit of wanting to spade my vehicles. I did this to every available aircraft in each nation from ranks 1 to 2. Therefore, I played a 3.7 Germany list with both the Ostwind and Whirlwind because they were stock. I got some long-range air kills that would get anyone reported, not to toot my own horn. Even when playing other tanks, I got some good kills, most notably on cargo port. I on occasion got some good snipes with the Dicker Max. I had figured that the distance between the main crossing points to A was roughly around 1,000 meters, so I'd set it up and correct the distance a bit and boom, very nice one-hit tank destroyer kills. I'd argue that what could have gotten me banned was the use of zooming in while in smoke to see through it partially, which is a bug, exploit, feature, I don't really know at this point. I spammed the hell out of my enter key one time to open chat even though it's disabled because Ukraine. And finally, once or twice, used some good spots that are frequently abused and overpowered because War Thunder ground maps are poorly structured. Great examples of what I'm talking about are Finland and Middle East. I personally hate those maps, especially at 7.3, because there's always one person who'd use a commonly exploited high position spot near spawn that no one checks and will always result in spawn snipes. What a great game. I also turned off my router the same day of my ban. Helpful Reddit user Allsgan told me about Gaijin and their website to access your War Thunder account, which I didn't know about until a few days after my ban. So maybe they believed I was account sharing. But in my final response to Reddit, many disagreed that this was the reason for the ban because there were many players saying essentially, I keep resetting my router, therefore why am I not banned too? So how does Gaijin know whether you were account sharing or not? Like how can they tell that you account shared? Having found that there was such a thing as Gaijin.net, I looked through my history and no, there were no suspicious logins, even if my security is non-existent. No one has ever accessed my account. Even if they did, it would be fruitless because that account is worth very little, as I previously mentioned, and my Counter-Strike inventory on Steam is worth way more. The only plausible explanation around this theory is that someone hacked my account for a day, didn't change my password, and then just left. At this point, I was defeated and fed up, and I just tried to keep this entire situation out of my mind. I was a EULA abiding player who had been banned at almost 1700 hours. It was all gone. However, as bad as it may sound, because I had spent 1700 hours on a dumb game, what I lost was nowhere near close to how much other people who I talked to on Reddit lost. A few days later after my final post, Reddit user Immediate Seat came to me and told me that they had been banned a few days after me. They had spent around $2,000 on the game, had also been playing for over 8 years, and were a sniping player like myself. They also said they played mid-tierish and played arcade tank battles. They had also said they would talk to a lawyer about this. I don't know how that's gone, but I'm not going to ask unless they update me because, personally, I don't feel like it's my business, and also I don't know how far they'll get. I'm uncertain whether you can sue a gaming company for getting falsely banned and spending lots of money on their products, but if something comes out of it from them and they allow me to talk about it, I will in my final update video, but if I don't touch on it again, just know I either can't or I got nothing new from them. They told me to DM someone called Null, who had been banned a week earlier than me, I believe. They said they spent even more money than Immediate Seat and played for around 7 years. By the way, Null815, if you're watching this video and don't want to be included, please just DM me on Reddit and I'll remove this bit of the video for you. Ironically enough, Immediate Seat's last DM they sent me was to talk to a person named Johan, a guy that was banned too and was interviewed on Zoltan Sultan's video from a week ago. Not to dig at Zoltan, but he interviewed Johan a week after I was banned because he's a banned player with the most attention on the situation. I mean, just look at those rewards. I'm totally not bitter in this section. But anyways, let's go over this whole cheater, botting, EULA 3.2.3 nonsense. What is it? EULA 3.2.3 regards malicious or deceiving usage of War Thunder. Firstly, modify server code, including by means of cheats, hacks, and etc., of which I have not done and would not know how to either. Like, I'm not that computer literate. Secondly, exploit flaws in game mechanics, exploits, bugs, and etc. I've possibly done this, but Gaijin refuses to tell me that I have. Use software which automates the game process, bots, mods, changes gameplay or functionality of the game, grants an advantage over other players not using such software, or otherwise changes gaming experience, whether yours or any other players. Again, no. Use any third-party software, which is the same as the previous bullet point. Destroy, disable, or assist destroying, disabling any computer or server used to support the game and related services. To upload any files that contain malicious code, including viruses, spyware, trojans, worms, intentionally corrupted data, or any other files that may damage or interfere with the games and related services. Organize, assist, or take part in any type of cyber attacks, including, without limitation, denial of service, and commit any other actions or attempts to disrupt the games and related services. I have no idea how to do this. Use the game knowingly or unintentionally in violation of any applicable law or regulation, or contribute to a violation of any applicable law or regulation. I'm not aware I've broken any law. And finally, make available, offer, advertise, promote, and otherwise distribute any of the aforementioned means of malicious or deceiving use. I'm not in any War Thunder Discord servers. I opened my first Reddit account 2 weeks ago. I occasionally use the War Thunder Steam community to help people with queries. I'm in a moderately sized War Thunder group that I've never communicated on, and War Thunder chat is disabled. The trend so far has been as follows, from myself, Johan, Null, and Immediate Seat. We're all long-term players, beside myself. The rest have spent a lot of money on the game. We play tanks, and they have happened quite recently, around the start of March. My final conclusion and theory is that, with the trend of other players being banned around the same time, it's an anti-cheat problem. One detail I've left last is that from about October 2021, I have had my game crashing on me quite frequently every time I would try to return to the hangar from a game. It would just stay stuck on the transition screen between when the game fades to black to the results screen. I'm giving it an educated guess that EAS has at some point updated and is unintentionally falsely banning players that may do sus plays, irregardless of whether they are cheating or not. This is my most plausible theory, and if it's true, Gaijin, please unban people from like the start of March. I'm going to hear people argue and say, but all the hackers will come back and ruin our games. In the time I've played War Thunder, I'd say I've had maybe a few moments in my thousands of games where I've had very suspicious deaths by players and etc. Even then, I just chalk those plays up to just being too tilted or just bad at the game. The fact is, War Thunder players, and I'm going to double down on this, innocent War Thunder players, are being banned this month at an alarming level. Something is going on, and I'd like to hope that confirmation bias will eliminate Ukraine out of this, and that it's just EAS or all accidental. But even then, if this problem is fixed, I doubt the banned parties will be unbanned anyway because risk. And who's to say that this won't arise again? With Gaijin's track record of poor decisions and the recent A10 update being so poorly quality checked and laggy to the point that even Smeagol won't play. I'm not going to kid myself with hopeful thoughts. I will never say this in any of my videos because frankly, I'm indifferent about analytics and statistics. But please, share this video with others because Gaijin are unprofessional, and this is a serious problem, especially when people's expensive leisure time is at threat. Join me if you may on my next video on how not to run a gaming company.